just make you sick. Are you afraid? We can set you free. We will make you strong. We want you. American Horror Story Calls premieres Tuesday at 10 on FX. Can I ask you a question? When was the last time you felt safe? Fear is the greatest motivator. You want to be somebody? Do you want to matter? And bring your fear. Join me. What are you afraid of? You are not alone. We are everywhere. Try to keep it dry.
I know. Gaming with your friends can be nice, but things start to get strange. Hey everyone, I'm back for another edition of True Crime AHS. Today we're diving into the real-life horror that inspired Roanoke. Before we jump in, make sure you're subscribed to the channel for all your AHS needs. That includes more true crime, the latest on the upcoming season of AHS Double Feature, and of course, a ton of breakdowns from past seasons of the show. Since we're focusing on Roanoke this week, there's no better place to start than with the Lost Colony of Roanoke. Before we watched a minute of the 6th season, we were already given a crash course of the Roanoke story from Billie Dean Howard back in Murder House. As she explains it, all 117 settlers of the Roanoke colony in North Carolina died by unknown causes. They became known as the Ghost Colony because, of course, their spirits remained on the land and haunted the native tribes in the area. The only way to stop these spirits was to banish them for good. The natives collected all their personal belongings, set them on fire, and a shaman uttered one single word. Croatoan. That same word was found carved on a post at the abandoned colony. But that's not the full story. See, there were some inconsistencies with Billie's story, which is honestly not surprising due to how the legend grew over the centuries. A very, very long game of telephone. Now, a much scarier story was revealed during the reenactments of My Roanoke Nightmare. In the late 1500s, Governor John White set up an English settlement on the North Carolina coast but had to seek out more supplies. He left his wife Thomason in charge of the colony, which upset some of the others. That's an understatement. The insurgency was led by Mr. Cage, and it also included her own son, Ambrose. The settlers put her in a scold's bridle and banished her from the colony, leaving her to starve to death in the forest. Lucky for her, someone or something was looking out for her. Scathach, a witch with powers bestowed on her from the ancient, bloodthirsty gods, offered to save Thomason in exchange for her soul and undying loyalty. It sounded like a good deal to Thomason at the time, who was so excited she ate the heart of a boar right then and there. Thus began Thomason's revenge tour. Mr. Cage, he was a goner, but surprisingly she spared her son. What a nice mom. Thomason took over control of the colony and relocated them 100 miles inland, and it would get even darker. At her witch's recommendation, Thomason would often sacrifice the colonists, including the poor, innocent children. Ambrose again wasn't a fan of it and decided to leave the colony and return to England. Thomason pretended to have realized her faults and vowed to return to her Christian ideals, but she was lying. She kills everyone in the name of her bloodthirsty gods, forever tethering their spirits to the land. Now, centuries later, the lost colony of Roanoke still haunts the land, and every year, to honor their gods, they sacrifice a new soul during the blood moon. So basically, if you're looking for a new home in the North Carolina countryside, stay as far away from the Big Shaker Mansion as humanly possible. Clearly, the AHS writers took some liberties when it came to their version of the Lost Colony. The real story doesn't include any witches or ghosts, but it's nonetheless a truly bizarre mystery. Following the failure of an early settlement on Roanoke Island, John White led an attempt in 1587 on the same island. This would become known as the Lost Colony. It turns out that White and his men weren't even supposed to be there. They had orders to establish a colony in Chesapeake Bay, but they stopped in North Carolina to check in on another settlement. When they arrived, they found everything had been abandoned, and their ship captain refused to let anyone back aboard except for Governor White. It was late in the year, resources were scarce, and the relationship with the natives grew more hostile. White returned to England for more resources and supplies, but the Anglo-Spanish War delayed his voyage back to America. When he returned 4 years later, he found the entire Roanoke colony in ruins and not one of the 112 plus settlers, including his own granddaughter Virginia Dare, who was the first English child born in an English colony in America. And just as we saw in American Horror Story, the word Croatoan was carved into a post in the fort. White initially believed that meant the colony had relocated to Croatoan Island, but he was unable to confirm this due to the rough Atlantic seas. Unfortunately,